I would say it's through nationally and locally, it's slowing down, the vacancy ticking up
Yeah.
from that COVID era, and developers that had to still put the product on because they were underway, they had their construction loans, they had to go. It is now tightening up. So what you saw in an increase is that demand drop off while supply had to continue because developers were already roaring and going and committed.